Sadiq Khan wants to destroy the British culture, Sir Keir Starmer says that he wants to bring down capitalism, and Charles Walker stands up against further lockdown. Hello everyone and welcome to the second programme of the day. The left are coming back strong and robust when it comes to their opposition against British heritage, history and our culture. Specifically Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, who has set up this independent body to review the statues and British history in London, street names, everything, all the landmarks they could think of. But we have the names of some of the people who are going to be involved with this campaign. And some of them, well, most of them, are a bit dodgy. We're going to go through the names of these people and their history and what they've actually said, what they believe in. And also, some footage has been released. Sir Keir Starmer, in an interview, saying that he actually wants to bring down capitalism. So all the moderate centrists who think that Sir Keir Starmer is a blur-right or moderate, no, he's not. First, let's go to the first person who's going to be on this panel of Sadiq Khan's movement against British history. We've got Tousi Agbetu, who is quite well known now because of what he did against Her Majesty in her presence. We have a video that's again been released recently of what he actually did.
As he approached, the Queen looked up. He stopped at the bottom of the steps, at the top of which the Queen was seated.
Let go of me! You think you're going to let go of me? Let go of me!
The service came to a halt. The congregation watched as, still standing a few yards from the Queen, the protester Tousi Agbetu demanded that Britain issue a formal apology for its part in the slave trade.
If the word sorry is so hard to say, and you, the Queen, can you let me go? I'll punch you out. You're a disgrace. Disgrace our ancestors.
Well, firstly, again, the problem I have with these people, these sort of lefties, the anti-establishment lefties, is that he wanted an apology for what's happened, well, historically in this country, even before Elizabeth II was alive, and anything that was involved with the British Empire. Firstly, successive British governments have apologised. Secondly, history is history. Thirdly, these people don't want an apology. It's never enough. As I said, a lot of prime ministers have come out since then to apologise every year, publicly. But they don't want an apology. They want to bring down the whole system. Why would he do that in front of the Queen? Why would he publicly heckle the Queen in that sense? And this guy is going to be involved on this independent body. Next person, we have Andrea Emmerlife, who is going to be also involved with this review. This is the same woman who actually praised the movement that we had in the summer with the BLM and everybody else, who forcefully brought down statues across the country, especially in Bristol. She said that's a good idea. This person is going to be involved on this panel. Sure, definitely not violent. Next person that we have is Riz Ahmed, who on TV came out and actually attacked the Prime Minister, which is a democratic right, absolutely. But he used, a certain bad word against him that we can't say on this channel. It's family friendly. And he's completely said that, the Tories are evil and, we should just bring down the whole thing. This guy, an independent expert, is going to be on this panel. And finally, we have Lynette Nabosa, who also has previously said that this country, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, is fundamentally and truly evil. Yeah, she doesn't even believe in the country. And she wants to be, and she is going to be, on this independent body that Sadiq Khan has invented. Do you really think that these people are going to be right? Are they going to be the correct choices to do this review? Again, as I've said before, I'm glad that the central government and government ministers have come out to stop this random campaign to bring down statues. They said that you can't just randomly decide on your own. There has to be a process. There has to be a democratic process. If there is a problem with a specific statue, for example, you cannot just do this. But Sadiq Khan has started this movement now against British history, against British heritage and culture in general, and he's invited all the crazy hard leftists who support him because he wants to get their vote. But you think that it's not just people like him, and there are some people in the Labour Party who are moderate, maybe the Labour leadership. No, you'll be wrong, because Keir Starmer, who came out to say that I will be a good replacement after Jeremy Corbyn, because I'm not as left-wing as him. His policies are still the same. The rhetoric has changed. The hairstyle has changed. The ties that he uses slightly different to Jeremy Corbyn's ties. There are ties. And but no, we have a new video again of Keir Starmer saying that actually capitalism needs to go.
It used to be the case that in the Labour Party, particularly in the Blair years, no one would say we're a socialist party. Now everybody says we're a socialist party.
That's a good thing.
But there's very few people as yet saying, and by the way, that entails replacing capitalism. Would you be comfortable saying that?
Well, I describe myself as a moral socialist. And what I mean by that is that...
Moral socialist. Moral socialist. What is that? Is this some sort of rebranding that I didn't know about? There's no such thing. You can't pick a bad word at something that's fundamentally a bad idea and add a nice word to it and say, oh, now it's good. Or we've just repackaged socialism. It's now not against freedom. Yeah, and it continues. It gets worse.
I profoundly believe that if we're to get out of the difficulties we're in, we've got gross inequality, we've got to take radical action. If you're going to deal with that, you've got to do pretty fundamental things, and I think we've got to have the courage to say the economic system, the free market economic system, is busted. It needs to be replaced with a new economic system where government sets the direction and sets the framework.
Yeah, so the capitalist system needs to be replaced, and what do we replace it with? More big government. Government, politicians, bureaucrats should decide what we have to do in our life and everyday life. I'm pretty sure we've tried this before. We've tried this in the West. We've tried this, in Germany. We've tried this in a number of other countries, Russia, and now you can see it in China. Are you joking? And again, I know a lot of people always bring up the caricature versions of the left, whether it's Cuba or Soviet Union. We're still seeing examples of even your moral socialist countries. They're not doing too well. So this guy who said that he's going to be, in the middle ground and he's going to be moderate and his own man, he's still pretty much a hard leftist Labour person. But at least there are some people in the political system that are still standing up for ordinary people. We have one specific MP who has been quite impressive recently, the Conservative MP Charles Walker, who has been very good in terms of defending Britain, our values, and our ordinary people in this country who are facing difficulties, over the last year or so. And he's been very good, and he's been quite consistent. Of course, his opposition when it comes to lockdown has been opposed by a lot of people in the establishment, but his priority is now to fight against SAGE, this so-called independent body that's advising the government or dictating to the government what we should do or shouldn't do when it comes to the medical situation. But some people in SAGE have come out to say that we should have annual lockdowns every winter. Some of them have said that we should just continue this lockdown despite the fact that we're going to get the jab operation sorted. We should continue until late summer, probably September. And some of them have just said that we should just keep certain measures, including social distancing and face masks, just permanently, forever. So he's come out to actually say that this is not what people wanted. A lot of people who are supporting the current measures are doing it because they think that it's going to be temporary until we fix this current situation and then we just move on. They need hope. And he actually is standing up for hope.
We will always argue that it's not the right time, just another 6 months, another 6 months. We have the vaccines. We have the vaccines. We were told they were the way out of this. So we vaccinate the population, but you're still in lockdown. People are going to start scratching their heads and start wondering, what on earth is this all about? What the government is doing now is bordering on the very dangerous, to be perfectly honest. It is robbing people of hope. It is robbing people of something to look forward to, and it is very, very stupid and very, very short-sighted. Now, I don't hold the Prime Minister responsible for this, but I do hold his Secretaries of State responsible for this, and he needs to rein them in very, very quickly.
Lord Sumption, appearing on Sky News earlier, said Matt Hancock, the Health Secretary, had lost his grip on reality, very angry about the travel restrictions that were brought in yesterday, announced yesterday to come into force on Monday, and in particular the potential sentences for those who break the rules and lie about where they've been. What do you make of that?
So this is the point where he's actually going to speak out against the measures that have been proposed by the government, by Matt Hancock, to actually, if you are not completely honest in terms of where you travelled, instead of just being fined, instead of just getting some sort of punishment so that it will be enough for you to not do that again against government measures, you might face a 10-year sentence. 10 years. And so he's actually not happy about that either, which is absolutely fair enough.
Utterly ridiculous thing for the Secretary of State for Health to say. Are we really going to lock people up for 10 years for being dishonest about the fact that they've been to Portugal? By all means, give them a fine, give them a hefty fine, a few £1,000s. Are you really seriously suggesting, Secretary of State, that we've got enough prison capacity to start locking up 19-year-old silly kids for 10 years? What a stupid thing to say. I mean, a really stupid thing to say that demeans his office.
And he's absolutely right. As I said, as he said himself, then government, if they want to go with this measure and if they think that's the right thing to do, then fine. Be firm. Whether you want to fine people, £1,000 or something, or some sort of punishment. 10 years. We got issues with capacity. We don't even have enough spaces, and it's going to be more cost to the taxpayer. And do you really think that that's the right thing to do? Again, there's a difference between punishing people if you think this is the right policy. But Matt Hancock and Sage have completely lost their mind, and they don't know what reality is anymore. And this is exactly why people like Charles Walker, we need people like Charles Walker to at least create the debate. He's probably not right on everything, could be wrong on certain things, but at least there should be some sort of opposition to hold the government to account. So Keir Starmer is not providing that opposition right now. As we said earlier, he just wants to bring down capitalism. That's his priority. But this channel and Charles Walker will try to hold the government to account. But thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this content, then feel free to subscribe to the channel. It does mean a lot to me. I did actually check the latest stats on the last video, and 55.7% of you are not subscribed, but you're still watching our regular videos. What are you guys doing? If you actually want to stay up to date with our channel, the best thing to do is subscribe and click on the notification bell next to it so you get notified when we release our daily videos at 5:45 p.m. and 8 p.m. I've also received the emails from some of you that complain about YouTube again automatically unsubscribing you. They do keep saying that it's the AI going after the spam accounts, but some of the normal accounts are being removed as well. So the best thing to do right now, if you're watching, double check that you are subscribed. But when you click on the notification bell next to it, click on all, not personalized. That's the best way to get notified when we do release our videos. The next one is going to be an update on the Alex Salmond inquiry and the SMP scandal. So stay tuned for that. Thanks again for watching. I'm Tousi, and I'll see you guys in the next video.